You've described extremism of young Sikhs happening outside of India. What is your proof of this?
Well, if you were to go on to Facebook or you were go on to the electronic media and see the type of anger that they share and the extremism that they like to propagate, you'll understand this. You go to some of the temples abroad, you still find the Khalistan emblems there, long live Khalistan. You still find processions going out in London where they're moving around wanting their own free land. They don't want to stay with India, the people abroad, the diaspora which has gone there. And the methods are certainly extremist.
General Brar, do you join in the frustration that many Sikhs feel that the Congress Party and various other politicians and those who were involved in the pogroms and the massacres that took place in '84 have not been brought to justice? Do you share that frustration?
Yes, like everyone else, I certainly share that frustration. I feel that those who were guilty should have been brought to book. And I must say that it's not the Sikhs in India who are so extremist-minded as the Sikhs abroad. I don't know why. They've gone abroad, they are diaspora, they've now got their roots there, their roots are no longer in India. But they don't want to see peace in India, and they want to motivate and indoctrinate the youth.
But General Brar, I mean, sorry to interrupt you, sir, but General Brar, if your own family were slaughtered in the way many Sikh families were in 1984, then of course you can understand why, A, they would wish to escape India, they would feel no love for India, and that they would continue to protest at the Indian state, and this perception certainly that justice has not been done, one that you share with them.
Yes, I can understand that. I can understand their feelings.
So to describe them as extremists, isn't that a little unfair?
Well, you can achieve what you're going out to achieve in a peaceful manner, but to achieve it through violence and weapons and criminal acts, I don't think is something which is worthy of the Sikh community.
Well, General Brar, please stay with us. Let us speak now to Tru Skool, the music producer, someone who is a man across the politics and the issues around what happened in 1984, clearly as a Sikh. Sukh, welcome to the show.
How are you doing now? You're right.
I'm good. You've heard General Brar speak. What would you like to say?
Well, first I'd like to say the Sikhs in this country are definitely not extremists. So basically, a person who can lead an army into the holiest place on earth, for people to retaliate, they're now extremists. That's great thinking. And the only extremist and evil wrongdoer in all of this is people like him. Really, so that's one thing I would say.
What about his argument that he was simply following orders?
Yeah, but the thing is, if I told him to jump off a cliff, I'm sure he wouldn't do that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And secondly, now, right, if your, this is a question to you, just hypothetically speaking, if your wife and kids were there and they were shot, what would you do?
General Brar.
Hey, now.
Well, quite. But of course, the taking in law into your own hands, Sukh.
Yeah, but you know
clearly
what? It's
against
not about
British
the law.
law.
It's like Adolf Hitler or Bin Laden. Saddam Hussein.
Yes.
You know, any of these people, if they were walking about the streets in London, I'm sure a few people would, do the same thing to them as well.
Well, Saddam Hussein was, of course, tried and hung. It went through a legal process. What you are advocating is the attack.
That's one, but not everybody. But this guy hasn't now. This guy hasn't. You know, he's got away with it. He's got away with it.
General Brar,
away with it.
General Brar, this is, of course, an accusation that you face on a daily, if not hourly basis, that you got away with it, that you managed to stay above the law, like many of the politicians that you feel are above the law and escaped justice. Many people lump you in with those politicians, General Brar.
I don't understand you when you say that I got away with it.
Well, this is the point he's saying.
What crime did I commit? You're saying that some of the politicians who were involved in the riots and in the killings got away with it. What crime have I committed? I've committed no crime that you are saying that I've got away with it.
Tru Skool?
Are people mental? This guy, have you ever been to Harmandir Sahib? I have, right? To have, you know, if they wanted to arrest Janelle Singh Ji, right? Why did they take tanks there to arrest one man? Did they need tanks? It was premeditated. They could have gone down with a few people, someone waiting outside, let us know when you're coming out, mate. No, they took tanks. What for? It's like if I was going to come to your house now, yeah, I was going to have a look with you, but I'll bring a tank with me.
Right, okay. So I think you know that it was more than one man, and you know that they were armed,
yeah.
Don't you?
All right. So yeah, but these guys had thousands of people. They had tanks and everything. Right. They didn't. Those guys didn't attack. It was these guys that went there to attack.
Okay. Right. Let me put that to General Brar. Let me put that to General Brar. General Brar. Essentially, many people believe that the violence that was exacted upon the Golden Temple was extreme in itself and completely disproportionate to the threat the Indian Army faced.
Well, that's the wrong opinion. The question is, we didn't expect the type of resistance that was offered.
But what were they armed with, General Brar? You had tanks. They certainly didn't have tanks, did they?
No, certainly. We did not want to use tanks. The tanks were brought in not to be used against them. The tanks were brought in as the last measure when we were approaching dawn to knock out the top portions of the Akal Takht, because they were holding out and they were killing our soldiers. Our men were dying like flies. And come daylight, it would have been a terrible problem, because thousands and thousands of Sikhs from the hinterland would have converged on the Golden Temple. And it would have been a very sad day for the Indian Army. So we had to complete the operation before then.
A sadder day than actually destroying part of the Akal Takht. A sadder day than that. So strategically, you believe that you did the right thing by tanks attacking the Akal Takht?
Well, the tanks initially were only to focus their lights on the Akal Takht, to blind the people inside, so that our commandos and our soldiers could close into the Akal Takht. But the tanks weren't able to weren't able to succeed in that. And therefore, finally, as dawn was approaching, there was no other alternative but bring down a volley of fire on the higher heights of Akal Takht, so that it may frighten those people. They may come out and surrender, and this bloodshed may end. It was not a deliberate plan to use tanks.
Now, can I speak, please?
Yes.
So bloodshed. He said bloodshed. There is no proof of any bloodshed. There never was. But these are the facts. Unfortunately for this guy, the only facts that remain is he and his army and that Indira Gandhi woman took tanks, soldiers, killed thousands of people. And the other fact is they did the same in Delhi. There is no fact. There is no proof that Sant Janelle Singh Ji killed anybody. There's no proof of that. So therefore, they went there to destroy him. They went there intentionally. There's no.
There are people. I've spoke to people who believe that.
They believe,
that Bindranwala. Well, in the same way you believe, Sukh. In the same way, why are they less justified in their beliefs than you?
Because the facts are this. This guy did take tanks and they did kill people. You're just saying speculation. It's just speculation.
Okay, General Brar. Where is the proof that Bindranwala was violent or enacting violence or indeed harming people?
My gosh, what more proof do you need? There were people being killed all the time. He was giving orders for people to be killed. And even a Deputy Inspector General of Police was killed inside the Golden Temple and his body thrown out. There was violence. I mean, and I object to what this gentleman just now said, that we went in there to destroy the Golden Temple. We did not. And if these are the feelings you're going to throw at me, then it's better not to continue with this discussion. There's no question of our having gone in there to destroy the Golden Temple. We tried to protect the Golden Temple.
Sukh, just be polite, Sukh. Okay? I do understand how passionate you are, Sukh, of course. I spoke to you many times about this. But let's just keep this discussion.
Yeah, I think they should. They should. Instead of using words like we went in intentionally to destroy the Golden Temple. There's no question of doing that.
But General Brar, you yourself have admitted that tanks deliberately attacked the Akal Takht. They deliberately focused on it. Now, of course, you felt a race against time because you didn't want thousands, tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands to Sikhs to turn up at the Harmandir Sahib. So you took a decision, but you did deliberately launch tanks against the Golden Temple.
You're wrong. We did not deliberately launch tanks. Those people inside the Akal Takht who had barricaded themselves and closed every window with sandbags, and they had machine guns firing at our soldiers who were out in the open, and our people were dying and couldn't even crawl up to the Akal Takht. Firing was coming from there. They are the ones who were deliberately firing. Now what do? At some stage or the other, you have to react to that. You can't just allow your soldiers to die. But you don't seem to find any fault with them. You don't seem to find any fault that they entrenched themselves in this holy shrine, barricaded it, fortified it, brought in weapons, had a grenade-making factory in there, and firing at us who had no shelter at all.
Sukh, I think that's an important point to put to Sukh. Sukh, why do you not feel annoyed that the men inside the Golden Temple fortified a holy building, took weapons into a holy building, made a grenade factory, according to General Brar, inside.
Yeah, this guy's not got the greatest credibility now, has he? But
anyway, he was there. He was there, unlike you and I.
Well, he's just a liar. And anyway, let me carry on with what I'm saying.
Wait a minute, Sukh, why do you feel? No. Answer my question.
I request you to ask the gentleman to be a little civil. He's calling me a liar. Yes. I don't wish to continue with this interview.
Well, General Brar, stay with us because we have other guests.
No, I don't like to continue with this interview. Please. This is the sort of people you're bringing on.
Okay, well, we'll park. We'll park that. Stay with us. Stay with us, General Brar. I have already said to him that he must be civilised in the way that he speaks to you.
I don't think he's taking your advice.
And we've just let him go. Okay, so he will no longer take part in this discussion. But General Brar, equally of course, and I said this at the beginning of the show, General Brar, that I will not be putting callers directly to you. But of course, there are people, General Brar, who are incredibly passionate, incredibly angry, and do regard you, as I said at the beginning of this show. There are plenty of people who do regard you in a very negative way, General Brar. So please, I will do my utmost to keep this as a civilised debate and a discussion. So please do stay with us.
Thank you.